Welcome to the Dino and Joe Show. My name is Dino, and that gentleman is Joe.
What's going on, sir? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Can't complain. Doing well. Living life. Probably frozen. Yep, definitely frozen because the my computer's glitching out pretty hard, but it seems to be back now.
You are living the world of Elsa.
I am
You are
living.
frozen.
You are not wrong. It is. It's an exciting time for me.
Yeah,
That's all I can say.
excellent.
But hey,
you are with us because you weren't earlier. You
I
were
was not. It was a
very
lot
much lots of different poses.
Yes,
Lots of different poses that went. Oh,
right. It's all the.
oh. So yeah, that was.
I did want to start with a correction, an addendum, whatever you'd like to call it.
You have something to correct?
So
Is this at any point someplace where you tell me that I was right and you were wrong?
No, it is that will no. That's just hard no on that.
No?
What it is though.
Yes.
So I believe it was last episode, either episode 10 or 9. We were talking about Wi-Fi passwords. I believe it was episode 10.
Yes.
And I incorrectly stated that our Wi-Fi password was at one point closets. That is not what it was. It was, and I was speaking with Tiff, and as it turns out, it was in fact closets. You'll love it. That's what it. That was my error. She listened and she was like, "That is not what our password was." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "It was closet. You'll love it." And I was like, "Oh, right." So I did not want that lie to be out there any longer.
You do know that no one could look it up.
But I felt bad on the inside.
No one could really fact check that. Like, hey, your Wi-Fi password was not told to us correctly in a previous episode, and therefore all the trust in this podcast has gone out the window.
All I'm saying is I want our listeners to know that they're getting the honest truth from us. We shoot straight. We say exactly what we're thinking, and that was an error I felt like needed to be corrected. So
I love the fact that she's fact checking you.
Of course she is.
I mean, I get fact checked every day by my wife, so I'm used to it.
it's one of those things where she was like, "Well, that wasn't right. It was this." And I'm like, "Damn it! All right, I have to correct the listenership. I have to make sure they know what it in fact was."
Do you feel better?
I do now. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
Oh wait, do you feel like you can breathe again because the weight is off your chest?
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Now I can live true. Now keep in mind that is not currently our Wi-Fi stuff. So if you're
somebody's just walking around Chicago,
if you're a creepy stalker trying to find it, you will not. That's not us, at least. It might be somebody else.
All those people are like literally on their phones searching in Chicago.
Yep. Nope.
One day I will find you, Joe.
Nope. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have something to start us off with that I hope will be funny.
Okay. If not, we'll just edit it out.
And I'm gonna tell a little story. So when I was a kid, staying up late to see Saturday Night Live or David Letterman was like a big deal.
Absolutely.
Like if you got that opportunity, right? It was kind of huge. And this is something that struck a chord with me. I don't even remember why. I was just thinking about it. I was like, this was funny to me when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it came from when David Letterman used to do the top 10s.
Yes.
So I wanted to bring it back and see if it's still as funny today.
Why not?
But then I got down a rabbit hole.
Oh boy.
And it takes another turn that I think you'll appreciate because it has something to do with something that I know that you enjoy.
Oh, so call me biased, but I'm all for this. Let's do it.
Okay. So these are the top 10 phrases that sound like masturbation but are not.
Okay. Let's do it.
Number 10.
10.
Frosting the pastry.
Absolutely. Yep, that's fair.
Right?
100%. Yes.
Still, I think that's still, that works today. Yeah. Number 9, shooting hoops.
Sure.
Kind of works for me.
Sure.
Number 8, jumping the turnstile.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah. Number 7, checking your oil.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to say the one so far, shooting hoops,
Yes.
That's the one that I feel is like the weakest of the four we've heard so far.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that.
But keep going.
Tethering the blimp.
Oh yeah. Oh, that has some sort of an
Yeah.
undertone for sure.
Yes. Number 5, sending out for sushi. Yeah, I see that one didn't ring anymore. I was
I
like,
don't know if that one's.
oh.
I'm just like, ooh, now I want sushi. That's it.
Right, I know. That kind of made me hungry. Number 4, picnic on the grass.
I could see that one.
Sounds dirty, but doesn't necessarily remind me of that act.
Yes, I agree.
Right.
Yes, 100%.
Number 3, this one to me didn't translate anymore, but quarter pounder at the Golden Arches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't get that one either.
It was that one. I more laughed at my reaction of hearing it for the first time in a long time.
Right. When I was probably 10 or 13 or whatever, that was probably really funny.
Yeah.
Number 2, which I always thought this was the number 1 because this is the one that always stuck with me.
Okay.
Shaking hands with Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, absolutely. Without question. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
100%.
Yes. 100%. I'm okay. I would love to hear what number 1 is if that's not number 1.
Yeah, I always thought that was number 1. Like that's the one as a kid I always remember and I always laugh about still today because I am a 10-year-old child at heart.
Yeah.
And I act like a 10-year-old child at times. But number 1 for this top 10 list was windsurfing on Mount Baldy. Yeah. Not as good as number 2.
It's not as good as number 2 at all.
No, which was why I realized I forgot that one because number 2 is the best one.
Yeah. It really is. Number 2 is by far the go-to for me. Like of the ones you just said, that would be the go-to.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Now this took me down a rabbit hole because right after I found this on the internet, and the internet does what the internet does best, right? It saves stuff forever that you think you'll never ever find again, right? And I found it in 2.2 seconds. It's amazing. But the Google search history of my wife has to look at my Google search
I'm sure that's going to be interesting.
What are you doing?
It's research, honey. It's research.
For the show.
That's all it is. Yeah.
There was instantly another link that said, what are the top 10 golf phrases that sound dirty but aren't?
Okay, yes.
And you are a golfer.
Right there.
Yes. Now, I used to be a golfer.
Yes.
Hurt my shoulder, can't really swing a golf club anymore, but I did golf for a long time.
Yeah.
And I went through these and went, pretty accurate. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What do we got?
So, are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Top 10 golf phrases that sound dirty but aren't.
Yes.
Number 10, you need to adjust your grip.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Abso-friggin-lutely.
Number 9 is my favorite. It bends a little to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I have to think. Actually, yeah, usually it goes far left for me, so that is also accurate for me on a different level too.
Number 8, keep your head down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely.
Number 7, we have a threesome. Care to join us?
Yes. Sure. Yes. Now, that's not necessarily the subject we were originally talking about, but still, it's dirty in some way or another.
Yes. Number 6, try choking down on the shaft.
Oh, 100. And the funniest part is anybody who's ever played golf has heard or said one of these phrases, if not all of these phrases.
Yes. Number 5, how many strokes was that?
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, I'm pretty good with my short putts.
Yes, but I'm not. That's for me personally. That's a huge lie. But that one, yes, that is a yes,
kind of a weaker one. Number 3 though comes back very strong. Spread your legs a little more.
Oh, absolutely. The head down, the spread the legs, the choking up on the staff. All of those things were issues I had while actually golfing, and I am also a 10-year-old child. So every time they said spread your legs a little bit, choke up on the shaft, need head down. Okay. It was very difficult to not just
Yeah. Number 2, get in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
And number 1 for the top 10 golf phrases that sound dirty but aren't. Anything with the words ball washer.
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Anytime I can work that into a game of golf, I will.
Oh, guys, hey, I got to go use the ball washer.
Right. Yeah. I got to wash my balls. Can you guys hang on a second? Oh, wow. Those were dirty. Let's get those cleaned up. Yeah.
And there you go.
That's it. So that is definitely a rabbit hole for sure. I'm glad I'm not going to say fell down, but went down.
Yes. I chased that one all the way to the bottom for sure.
I like that.
There you go.
Your search history, my lord.
And I'm sure there's like a ton of stuff that ends up sounding dirty, but isn't. Like just continues to go, right? I mean, there's got to be other things, right? I ended it there because I was worried about like how much time I was now spending on just trying to find stuff to make me laugh.
That's good. That's probably for the best that we paused where it was.
Right. And it was one of those points where I was like worried that like I was going to like click on the next thing and it was going to take me to one of those places you just don't want to go, and you don't want to see anybody that now walks in and goes, "What are you looking at?
What are you doing?"
Right? What? Wait, what?
What is that?
So true story. My father,
yes.
Not necessarily the most astute user of the internet.
Okay.
He worked for a college, and he worked in inventory management, and he had free range access to the internet, and didn't realize the dangers that could befall you by searching for things on the internet by just using specific words. So my father is an expert in Native American culture. He grew up with Native Americans. He used to come to this house and trade in Iowa when he was a kid. And my great grandmother used to tell stories about how they would go hide when the Native Americans came to trade at the house.
Yeah.
And so this is like real life history as a kid hearing these stories. And my dad was asked a question about the lifestyle of Native American women. And so my dad said, well, hang on a second, and went onto the internet and typed Indian women and clicked the button.
You gotta be careful there. That's an unfortunate.
And my father, the nicest man in the world, is now someplace he did not want to be on his work computer.
Work computer's even worse, right? So that I don't know how, but you unlocked a memory for me, okay?
Yeah.
About inappropriate sites on a work or school device. In this case, it was school device.
Yes.
Probably 5th or 6th grade.
Right.
So again, in 5th or 6th grade for me was when there was a computer lab with like old, huge computers.
Sure, absolutely.
And there were like 17 websites. Well, I was
16 of them you couldn't go to.
16 of them you couldn't really go to. So I was doing a research paper on the White House. Now, I don't know if this is still the case or not, and I don't necessarily want to try. But I'm like, okay, I am a young man who understands technology. .com is the suffix for anything.
Tell me you went to whitehouse.com.
I did, because why wouldn't I? That seems right. I forget that there's a .gov, .org, .edu, .everything else. Yeah. So I'm like, whitehouse.com. Click.
That is not the White House.
That is not the White House. Oh, no. It is not. It is a very adult site, unbeknownst to me. So here I am in a computer lab, like, and I can't click off of it. And my computer teacher's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I was trying to go to the White House. I went to whitehouse.com. And she's like, oh my God. She takes off her blazer, throws it over the computer. And it was like, okay, we'll fix it later. She unplugs the computer. Oh my God.
Brilliant. Yeah. I think every kid makes that mistake.
I still sometimes forget about .edu, .org, .gov, .whatever, and I'm like, oh, irs.gov, not irs.com. Luckily, there's nothing awful, not awful, but inappropriate, perhaps, for a work or school device. But
well, there's never anything inappropriate on anything labeled IRS.
Yeah,
they've got that locked down.
Yeah, that's a But somehow
Well, the White
WhiteHouse.com.
House, yeah, a whole different thing.
How could you not buy that ahead of time? Well, I guess somebody probably was like, okay, U.S. government, give me, $2 million and I'll sell you back WhiteHouse.com and it'll automatically auto redirect .gov. Otherwise, I'm putting porn up here. Whoops.
Yeah.
Should have taken the deal.
Yeah. Oh man, that's hysterical. I think every kid has done that. I think that's just a natural thing that happens because
honest mistake.
Right. You wouldn't know, necessarily a certain age at .gov, .org, whatever, .edu. Yeah. So, oh my goodness, that's priceless. I can just see little Joe going.
I was freaking out, man. I was freaking out hard. Not good.
Let's over the computer.
She took her blazer off. I remember it was like a teal blazer. She was like, "Oh my god!" She took it off. She put it over the computer. She's like, "Okay, we're fine," and then unplugged the computer and was like, "Go find a different one." I was like,
"Was this a gigantic ruse to get your teacher to undress, Joe?" He's frozen.
Mistake I had never made again. Let's put it that way. That was never something I made sure I memorized all of the suffixes of .com, .gov, .org, and I was like, let's just what type of this is a school related thing, edu. It's a government related thing, .gov. Like, let's not do that again.
Was this a giant ruse to get your teacher to undress?
Again, no. No, it was not.
You froze when I asked you. I had to ask you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were totally frozen.
Hard no. Big no. Big time no. Big all no. All no.
I'll take a pass.
But
oh, that's awesome.
Let's take a break and we'll come right back.
It's the Dino and Joe Show. We're back with the Dino and Joe Show. This is Dino. That is Joe. And Joe.
Yes.
Something that you're pretty passionate about, and I think is very interesting, is, I don't know, what do you call, you have a phrase for this. What is this called?
Yes. So it's called everyday carry. I'm a big person who believes in like having stuff on you 95, if not 100% of the time, that can help you, whether it's open a box at work, whether God forbid you're stuck in a, your car breaks down in the middle of nowhere and you need to, I don't know, have a flashlight handy or anything like that. Like anytime you might need a tool, it's available to you.
So you carry all this stuff, from what I understand, right?
I carry a lot of things.
And so you're going to walk us through some of the, I would say, essentials?
Yes. These are things that I would suggest anybody use, right? And you can make this stuff usually for, like, for instance, I have a pouch like this, okay?
Okay.
Very nice little pouch.
Yep.
We're going to open it up right here. And you can see some of the stuff on the inside, right?
Yes.
So we have a little multi-tool, a pen, Bic lighter, flashlight, a little bit of a bigger knife. There's also a mini screwdriver, and there's also a bandana which has like life-saving techniques and stuff like that on. Hold on. I really love this one. This is one of my favorites.
All right.
Because it's silly, but it's cool.
It's a survival bandana.
It literally is. So you can use this to, dab sweat away, but also let's say you have a broken leg. You can use this to help set that. Or if you have, a bite somewhere, this can actually be used as a pseudo tourniquet to like cut off blood flow to that area so you don't have, that poison flowing somewhere. Or let's just say you cut yourself on accident and you want to be able to, restrict blood flow. You can use it that way. There's a million different uses for this kind of stuff, but I love it because, I don't know, it's something I got into.
Okay. All right. So that's one pouch.
Yes. Now, to be clear, this pouch, I think I spent probably about $75 on. So you can do them relatively cheap. Like you don't have to go full bore, but so if you can't tell, I like this Maxpedition brand, but I also, do you like this?
I like that.
Little Milton from The Office Space.
You take that stapler. You try and take my stapler.
So this one has a lot more of the same, right?
Well, hello. Yeah.
Now this one goes in my car. So this one right here, the smaller one, you can kind of see the size differences.
Yeah.
The smaller one will go in my work bag, in a gym bag, in a whatever kind of bag I'm going in, right? Like if I'm going to some place that is either work, school related, I will usually have that. This is the one that's in my car all the time.
Okay.
I will always have this in my car. And
All
like
right.
some of the key things you can see in here, again, a pen, USB cord, a little multi-tool, flashlight,
Another pen
another pen.
in
Well,
case the
actually,
first one runs out
now
of ink.
this one has the little
Oh, it's a
stylus right on
stylus
top.
pen. Ooh.
Lighter, a
Lighter.
battery charger,
Uh-huh.
a fire starter, another knife, and a little flash drive. Also, oh, there is another survival bandana, a different one.
Okay.
This one's fun. They're all kind of fun, but that's just
This
me.
one's fun. The other one was less fun. This
Well,
one's fun.
this one's also a little bit softer to the touch. Oops, there we go.
Okay. That is wilderness survival.
It is wilderness survival.
Hopefully you don't break your glasses so you can read all that.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, that does that. Now that's something I don't have in this pouch, but it is something that I do always carry is a second pair of glasses in my car, always. So if you're somebody who has need for wearing glasses, definitely have those as a backup. But the key things I always have in these things, for sure,
Yes.
seriously, are a lighter. Like you can get just like a simple Bic lighter.
Yes.
That's it. You never need to know when you need to start a fire. You know, maybe they're like something as simple as your shirt has a loose thread, right? And you don't want it to keep, just literally do that really quick. It'll
Fire. Holy
it'll
cow.
yeah, no, seriously, it'll
But
make
you
the
have a
thread not.
fire starter.
I do have a fire starter as well in case that ever runs out. I have a backup on a backup. People are going to call me crazy, but that's just how I am.
Okay, so we have
Yeah.
pouch 1 and pouch 2. How many
Mhm.
more pouches do you have?
So several, but I'm only going to show you a few.
Wait,
Now
wait, how
these
many do you carry at one time? You're
6.
literally you're doing the math.
Well, it's in my. So they're all of these are going to be in my work bag. In my car, there's only one. And again, it's this big guy. But if I'm
Wait a
going to
minute. You carry 5 in your work bag?
yeah, so one of them is for all of my electrical dongles, you know, anything related to a computer because I do present a lot, anything like that, all that kind of
Okay.
stuff is in.
So
Then
you
the
have
other
professional ones.
correct, I have a professional one. I have another one that's more just like I guess work related first aid. I have some Tums, some Band-Aids, you know, some mouthwash, just stuff like that, just for basic everyday need. And the other
Okay.
reason I carry it is not just for me, it's for other people. When I went to Disney World or when I went to Six Flags Great America, right? I would have this stuff. I always have like Advil, aspirin,
Sure.
Imodium, all that kind of stuff. People are like, man, I got a headache. I'm like, there you go, I got you. You'd be surprised. People will make fun of it until they need something from you. And then they're like, that was a good call.
Okay. All right, show me your next one. I've got to
Now
see what's in the next batch.
so these are much more simple. So these are called Topo Design. These are just like little guys that I put smaller stuff in case one day I forget something or something else runs out. In here, it's simple things like antiseptic wipes, right?
Okay.
It is a bottle cap opener, pry tool type thing.
Okay.
Shout to go wipes. You never know when you might spill something on your
That's
shirt or
actually,
something.
you know what? I will tell you right now that's very smart. Yes.
Yes, it is. Like it's
Yeah.
just, and I also have a Tide pen in another one of these. Like it's super useful
I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a dinner or a lunch and been like, you've got to be kidding me. How did I get something on my shirt? So
Right,
yes,
exactly.
I'm there with you on that one.
And then this one is one I really love. It's called the Victorinox. What is it? Oh, Swiss Card Light.
Yes.
So this one is basically a Swiss Army knife as a card. It's super thin, but
Wow.
you still have your little, you know, letter opener knife type situation here, if you can see that.
Yep. Yep.
You have your scissors, but they're very abbreviated, but they still work really well,
Okay.
right? You still have your bit drivers, so all of the different, you know, Phillips and flathead drivers.
Gotcha.
And finally, you have your little magnifying glass as well as a ruler.
Because you never know when you're going to need to measure something.
Not even that, but just when you might need to know, like, just make something straight. That makes it much easier. And my favorite little part, there's a little light on it.
Oh, look at that.
This, I'll be
That's
honest, though, this is a
cute.
pointless light. because you can't. It's. I'll be honest. That is a pointless light.
Pointless.
It was just
Like,
kind of
all the
cool,
things
but
on here, the light,
if
it gets dark, you're in trouble.
If you're pitch black, you can barely see it. Like it's not the best part of it, but it's cool and it's nice to have, right?
Yes.
Oh, and then the other thing in here. Oh, I forgot about this. It's a flashlight.
Oh, it's a tiny flashlight.
But it is a power.
Like, hey, could you get out your ruler and measure how big that flashlight is? I think it's like, what, an inch and a half?
This is
2 inches.
3.5 inches.
Oh, much bigger than I thought. Still tiny, though. That's kind of cool. That's cool.
But the other thing is, like, it is so powerful. Sorry. I'm trying to do it away from the camera.
I'm not sure you did that, but you shined it right in my eyes over the internet.
Look at that. Like, it's super.
Like, whoa.
I'm able to do that. And then
look, Dad.
The last thing is just a little knife again, just as a backup. And then what's in the? I honest to God, I don't even remember what's in this one. Oh, okay.
That's how much you've used it.
Well, it's like an emergency thing. I have a cord wrapper right here, so if I need to like manage my cords a little bit better, I have that for an emergency. I have
an emergency cord situation.
Well, what if I like?
You know, many times I find myself in a very 911 cord arrangement that I need to make sure that my cords are straight.
You and I, while we work together, we don't work together like in the same. Those of you who know me out there know that I am insane about organization. So I can't just have can't have cords like dangling about. I have to keep it like organized and tight if I'm presenting like in an office or something. I can't just have stuff all over like literally this comes very in handy for my brain because I'm that type of person.
Captain Cable Management.
Pretty much, yes. Wet ones, especially during this time. These are nice to have just for disinfecting stuff. You're gonna laugh at this, and I
probably yes.
This is for emergencies.
Okay.
For a few different. It's called the Dude Wipe. Have you ever heard of a Dude Wipe?
I have not. No.
So these are refreshing towelettes.
There's some different brands out there.
Yeah.
So like I get them as samples in my Birchbox every once in a while.
Yeah, there you go. I love these because these are nice just for whatever situation. If you're sweating really bad, if whatever type of situation you're looking for, that's perfect. And then a microfiber cloth. That's it. That's what my day-to-day carry will look like. Just because I like to have a little bit of everything.
All right, so now I have a question.
I have an answer, probably.
You can carry 2 things.
Yes.
That's it. You can carry 2 things out of all of that.
Okay.
What are the 2 things that you absolutely take with you?
Knife and flashlight. Oh, no, I changed that. Multi-tool and a flashlight.
Okay. Those are the must-haves.
For me, yes, because I am thinking from a work perspective as well as a survival perspective, if you want to put it that way, right? Something like this, like the Gerber dime.
Okay.
Small, but it is a spring-loaded pliers.
Oh, look at that.
Like that's really nice. Close it back up. It's still like the size of your finger, but I also have a blade.
Okay.
I have a letter opener, a box opener, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, cool.
I have a scissors on here. So like there's like everything you could conceivably need for a work, personal, or survival situation that could be really helpful.
Okay.
And then the other thing is just a flashlight. I always like having a flashlight because you never know when it's going to be super dark, or you might need to signal somebody, or for instance, in our line of work, there's a lot of tables you have to look into. Like there's, we set up different stuff. So I have to look inside the table. This is super helpful to be able to look inside. Sure, I could use my phone, but that's kind of big and clunky. This I can just click, turn on, and leave it in there, and it's totally fine.
Very cool.
So from a usability perspective, I think those would be the 2 most essential.
Perfect.
I will link all of this stuff in the bio if anybody's
absolutely
interested. All the stuff that I have, I wouldn't say I have like super expensive stuff, I put a little bit more into mine than some people. Like, you don't have to. The biggest thing I'll tell people is do not buy these pre-made go bags.
Okay.
Just don't do it. They're going to spend $175, $200 on stuff that's honestly mediocre at best. You can buy things from Walmart, from Home Depot, from Menards, from Amazon that are better quality, that are either the same price or a little bit more, and will last you considerably longer.
Interesting.
100%. Like, there are certain brands that I will always use because they've worked for me, like Gerber, Victorinox, who makes Swiss Army knives, like the actual Swiss Army knife.
Yeah,
I love them. I will never buy another type of pocket, a pocket knife like that. I just won't do it because they stand behind their stuff. It really works. Flashlights, I love Olight, things like that. By the way, anybody wants to sponsor us, we'll take it. I'll say anything
if they like and subscribe at this point.
Yeah, like and subscribe as well.
But so, when was it, like, how old were you when you first started carrying like a pocket knife or like or whatever?
14, 13.
Yeah. Something. Yeah. See, so like I'm in that, because obviously George is 10, right? And I kind of remember around that time starting to realize my dad always carried a pocket knife, right? And it was like the thing you had to have. And I think I got my first pocket knife probably around 11 or 12.
Sure.
Right. And it was, don't take it to school. Right.
Right.
That was like the whole thing.
That's the big
thing.
Don't
take it to school. But we did so much work around with my dad. Like, he'd be like, hey, get your knife and, open that box or whatever. Right.
You're on a farm too, right?
No, I didn't grow up on the farm. My parents grew up on a farm. That's
okay.
My dad grew up with that lifestyle. And so we just carried that forward. But we were always like, we didn't hire anybody to fix anything.
Right. You did it all yourselves. That makes sense.
And so,
of course,
when you were roofing or when you were working electrical or all those things I did as a kid because I did them with my dad, you always had something on you, right? Like that always became the thing of carrying something with you. So I think it's really interesting you've carried that forward. Most people might carry a knife, don't carry much else, but it's a different world today. There's a lot more options out there, a lot more things. Would you be willing to do actually walk through like the individual units, review that kind of thing for audience? I think that would be really cool. I think you have a very valid point that there's a lot of stuff out there that's very expensive.
Yes.
And just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's any good.
Yeah. Or even something that you need.
Well, right. Exactly.
There are certain brands that are expensive and 100% worth it. Anything Leatherman, if you buy something with the name Leatherman on it, you're not going to get a bad product. But they vary from something like, hold on, I have one in here, oddly enough, that's like the basic one. Something like this, right? So this is the Leatherman Skeletool PS.
Yes.
It's very small, size of my finger, right? I think this was $30.
Yeah.
Up to something that's the bigger brother of this, that's about yay big, that's like almost 200. Oof. Why would you buy that when this might be the best thing for you, right?
Yep.
It's like,
absolutely.
And obviously needs change over time. Mine have definitely changed over time. I carry a lot of different things today than I did from last year or 5 years ago, especially since 2019, since the pandemic.
Right.
I've incorporated a whole bunch, like wet wipes or wet ones rather.
Sure.
Hand sanitizer. Yeah. That kind of stuff just to, just to add to that.
So I think a piece of the program that we should add is something that I think that you can walk people through is these types of items, right? Yeah. How do we use them? When do we use them? Why do we use them? Why do I need them? What's good? What's not? Like, I think that's really cool. And we can add that to our repertoire.
I think that'd be fantastic. Yeah, I'd love to show people if they're interested.
Excellent. It's been a very good show.
It has been an excellent show. Before we leave, I have a closing thought.
Yes.
And it's kind of related to everyday carry multi-tool type stuff. And we were discussing right before we started the podcast today. Yeah. You said you were going to try to jerry rig something.
Yes, I did.
Okay. I have heard people use Jimmy rig.
Yeah.
Do you think that's as blasphemous as I do? Like, it's jerry rig.
It's jerry rig.
There's literally a YouTube channel, Jerry Rig Everything. I love that guy. If you're looking for a cool like breakdown on tech and different stuff, Jerry Rig Everything on YouTube, he's awesome. But for me, it's Jerry Rig. Like Jimmy Rig is, I don't know what that is.
I don't know when Jimmy invaded this whole party.
I don't either.
When did he try and steal all that from Jerry? It's always been Jerry. I don't know where that came from either.
I don't either. The first time somebody said it, I was like, What is that?
Physical cringe.
I was
Like,
disgusted. I was like,
whoa.
what is Jimmy? I do not know what that is.
I just mini
Like,
puked because
yeah,
of
just a little bit.
it comes right up to the very
Right there,
top
it's
and
not
you
good.
swallow it back down and you're
It's
like,
not good. And they were
that's
like,
gonna burn.
like when you try to temporarily fix something, just like a quick fix. And I'm like, you
Yeah,
mean jerry rig?
cherry
And they're
rig.
like,
Yeah,
what is that? And I'm like, oh God, get away. I can't
I
do this.
can't.
I will not talk to somebody who says Jimmy
You're
rig.
beneath
It hurts
me
my
in
feelings.
in
Yeah.
my men's carry all.
The European carry-all. It's not a purse.
My purse. It's the Dino and Joe show.